Let us sing in the praise of the Guru first, and then we'll move on to the actual Gita. Namo Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamashyadilakshayam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvada Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Smarami Sadgurum Tam Bhajami. This Wednesday evening, we will be reading the last few last few shloks from the chapter 3, Karma Yoga, and then we'll hopefully start the fourth chapter, that is Gyan Yoga. Karma Yoga is basically designed to explain Kriya Yoga, at least in the Gita written by Sanyal Mahasaya. There are probably 1,000,000 different interpretations of the Gita, and according to me, probably all of them have some truth in it. I would not be judgmental in saying this is the best or it is not the best or anything. I have no comments. Whatever suits each person is best for him, I guess. Just a minute, please. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah. So, as I said, there are 3 levels of meaning to the Gita. To most of our scriptures, in fact, Ramayana, as well as Chandi and Gita, these 3 I am familiar with. The rest of them some of them I have read, not all of them. But this basic 3-level meaning is found in almost all the scriptures of the Sanatana Dharma. We have moved on from chapter 1, which is Vishad Yoga. Vishad is misery. To the chapter 2, which is Sankhya Yoga, where the Lord tells Arjun what is he and who is Lord Krishna himself. And from there he moves on to Karma Yoga, chapter 3, where he details the type of activities that one should indulge in, how it will help him if he does not follow the rules of Kriya Yoga, where will it lead him, and what are the benefits of following Kriya Yoga. The last few shloks that we shall be reading are fairly intense and they have very deep meaning. I just read them again in the Hindi session from 5:30 to 6:30, and I am very impressed by the word mastery of Sanyal Mahasaya. So that cannot be translated so well into English, but that's all right, we will try our best. What is Karma Yoga, what is Gyan Yoga, and what is Bhakti Yoga are three things that one needs to understand. My Guru Maharaj used to say that Gita has 18 chapters. All of the chapters are named Yoga. Moksha Yoga, Sannyas Yoga, Karma Sannyas Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Virat Rup Darshan Yoga. Yoga is to join. Joining the soul with the great formless one. In Bengali, he used to say, Ahankar ke Omkare dubiye deva. That is yoga. That is, submerge your individual ego of this body, related to this body, derived from this body, into Him, who is the master and controller of the entire universe, entire creation. That is yoga. Now, 18 chapters are 18 different methods or processes of achieving this target. The target is to be one with Him. And the examples given are like a river submerging itself into the ocean. The ocean does not change, the levels do not go. The river also does not go dry, but it merges into Him and forgoes its earlier existence as it was coming down the mountains. So let us start without wasting any more time. We shall read the last 2-3 shlokas. Yesterday we had completed shlok 39 in chapter 3, and the last line I will read for you. The way to prevent your indulgence of the material world and its pleasures is to realize the reality of your enjoyment, your reality of your use of the material, and where it leads you. How does that work out? I'll tell you. We know a very famous saying in English, all that glitters is not gold. Even Ravan created a golden city in Lanka. A guru comes and teaches you that this is all an illusion. Don't get trapped into this. Hanumanji acted like the guru, which is why in Hanuman Chalisa it is said, Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karahu Guru Dev Ki Nai. So you do your kripa, you bless us just like a guru would bless us, but the true vision, the true wisdom. Hanumanji did the right thing for Ravan. He burnt the golden city of Ravan, of which he was so proud. So he says, here Sanyal Mahasaya says, unless you know the reality of the object that you desire, you shall go blindly for it. It may damage you in terms of disappointment, in terms of disillusionment. But nevertheless, once you look at it for the first time, you will always desire it. You have to forego that. And unless you are able to achieve that, critical assessment status, you will fail in your effort to reach somewhere in the Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga, as I explained yesterday also, we talked about this, is done manasa vacha karmana. You have to do it with your man. Man is ethereal heart. Vacha is speech, your method of speaking, your content of speech has to be, conducive to your moving upwards on the ladder to reach the Almighty. And the third thing is physical Kriya Yoga, Prana Sanyam. That is achieved by chitta, buddhi, ahankar, all these things are, all your indriyas are also involved. You have to still your body, you have to close your eyes. So your bodily functions are controlled to the extent that they become conducive to Kriya Yoga. So this is the method. Now we move on, and the shlok number 40, chapter 3 says, Indriyani mano buddhirasyaadhishtanumuchyate etirvimohayattesha jnanamavritta dehinam. The indriyas, 5 sensory organs and 5 work organs, man and buddhi, these are the shelters for calm. Calm is desire, calm is lust, calm is want. And they, together with the calm, desire, lust, etc., corrodes your wisdom, covers it up like a curtain falls on the stage, and entices the being into areas which are taboo for him. He shouldn't go there. There is no gain to be had. You go to a dance bar, have a few glasses of whiskey, and then you dance the night out, and you come back home and tired, and you leave a few valuable things in the bar, and they're gone. Where does that lead you? So I'm just giving examples as they come to my mind. They may not be completely apt, but bear with me, indulge me. Larry Marshall says, these desires, your sensory organs, your work organs, your man, your buddhi, etc., do not allow you to first experience the soul, which is your kutastha. Second, to stay there. In fact, what it does is gets you moving towards the material world. It is very tough to stay in the kutastha, which is the Atma. Even the most accomplished Kriya Yogi will at different times, at different occasions, get enticed by some worldly thing. If nothing else, it might be your very little tiny grandson or granddaughter who will come and sit in your lap and you will say, Dadu. And then you forget your Kriya, you just, you love to talk to that cute little kid. This is what happened to our friend Jad Bharat in Bhagavad Puran. Jad Bharat was enticed by that helpless, hapless, small little baby deer which was floating down the river. Its mother was being eaten by the tiger, and he got all sorts of crazy ideas. He rushed down and saved the deer and came back. He was a yogi. He was living in the forest. He had no reason to get attracted to the pitiable condition of the deer. It is nature. But he fell into the trap. And then his next life was that of a deer, because that is what he was thinking when he left his corporal body in his previous life. Just like a drunkard, after having a peg too many, gets intoxicated and loses his vivek gyan, sense of senses. Similarly, a person who is very much attracted to the material world and material enjoyment of the senses loses track of where he is going, how he is going, and what is his future in it. then what is the relief for such a person? All of us are trapped into this. All of us are not free of being able to just look into the soul and stay there, etc., which the saints claim we should do. We can't. You know, our body and its senses and the man and the buddhi are so powerful, they drag us out and into the world where we don't want to go. We really know it is not going to be so good for me. But the temporary chamak, the shine, the glow of the material world is so powerful, you can't escape. So now Sanyal Maharshi says, if you leave your man to enjoy these, then he'll go there. Provide him alternate therapy, not therapy, alternate enjoyment. What is this alternate enjoyment? The taste of the soul's glory. How do you do that? You do that by Navada Bhakti, the first two stages. What are the first two stages of Navada Bhakti? Navada Bhakti, as you all know, was the sermon that Lord Ram gave to Shabari Maiya, and then she left her body and she received moksha. The first one is Pratham Kara Santan Ke Sanga. Sant is always enumerating, detailing the truth. And the truth is only one. You know, when we finish tonight, we will be saying Asato ma sadgamaya. Asat, the falsity. Leave the falsity behind. This world is a falsity. Leave it behind. Move on to the truth. The truth is the Lord. Asato ma sadgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Tamas is darkness. The world is full of darkness. You have to leave that behind and move to the light, which the light is here. It is your soul. It is your maker. It is your Lord. And then he says, Mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Mrityo is when you stay in the world, you will be dying and coming back and getting born and dying again and move on and on and on and on. Some people do not believe in rebirth, but Sanatana Dharma does. And we have some proofs. I can discuss that, but that's not important. So you will get reborn again and again and again and again, and it will lead you nowhere. So he says, Mrityor ma. Ma means no. Abandon, no. Cross it out. Amritogama. Amritam gamaya. Amritam is him only, your soul, your maker. Only he is Amrit. Amrit means not death, no death. So this is what he says here too. He says, provide him this ras, your soul, your atma, your man. You provide him this ras. What is this ras? This tasty juice. My Guru Maharaj used to say, we are all insects of a dirty drain. We like to live in the slime and the sewage of that drain, which is the world. So he says, when you take the shelter of a guru, then he takes you out of that drain and he puts you in a pot of honey. Initially, because you are so used to that drain and its obnoxious atmosphere, that you don't want to stay in the pot of honey. That is foreign to you. You are not used to it, so you don't like it. But, he says, when you do too much, you are agitated too much, then the Guru will put you back in the dirty drain. There you will start realizing, oh, that was not so bad. I don't know why I rejected that and I came back here. So then you want to go back. Thus, for 5 minutes you stay there for a few days, then that becomes 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, and the duration increases, and now you don't want to move anywhere away from the pot of honey, definitely not into the dirty drain. This is what my Guru Maharaj used to say in Bengali. Amra to Beno Nordamar Poka. I think I have recounted this earlier. So, this dirty drain is the world. What do you get out of it? Think about it. Jot your points down. Create a balance sheet. These are the advantages, these are the disadvantages. You will see that the column where the advantages are written, seriously, sincerely, it will stay blank. But if you are still materialistically very opined, very inclined, you will fill that column only. You will not know the benefits of leaving the world and staying with yourself. So he says here, first, Shabri Maiya was told, stay with the saints. Give the saints company, take their company and stay with them. One. Second is, Dusri Rati Prabhu Katha Prasanga. Start enjoying tales of gods, their exploits, their leela. And you will be engrossed. You have to know, you have to read between the lines. And that is a difficult thing, which is why Sanatan Dharma has not caught on. What little it had progressed that progress was taken away by the invaders from the deserts, and then later on the British. Slowly, the size of your man will start reducing. If you don't feed it the outside world, then its reason for existence itself is gone. So, just like a person who fasts, upavash, he will lose weight. This Navratra, just past Navratra, I lost about 4 kilos. I was just eating fruits, that's all. No grain. So, don't feed the man with the external fast food of the world. It'll start reducing in size, it'll start being less active, it'll be reduction in girth and influence. That's the way to feed the right honey to the man. Again he repeats, if you are not able to do that, then run to the sadhus, run to the guru, run to the saints, run to wherever talk of God is going on. And there are a lot of places in India where it is happening. There, when you get the opportunity, do a little bit of Kriya Yoga, Pran Karma, Vishesh Pranayam, especially Pranayam. Slowly you will see your mind is now not desirous of going out into the dirty drain. You now want to stay in this lovely place where God exists both outside and inside you. Kabir Das ji has also said, और रसायन छोड़कर राम रसायन लाग. Rasayan is chemicals. Rasayan is substance. Or Rasayan is stop all your different toxic inputs, fast food, pizza, burger, etc. and start eating healthy food. That is Ram's Naam, the name of the Lord. The next shlok is 41. I am going through with a brief interpretation of a very serious topic, and if you want to know more, please stop me, ask me to stop, and I will go into detail. Tasmat mindriyanadav niyamya bharatarshava Papmanam prajahihenam jnana vijnana nashanam. So, the Lord is preaching to Arjun now. He says, first you control your 10 horses which are keeping your rath or chariot, your body, active. First, you control them. And then get rid of this want, this lust, this desire. Because once the indriyas are controlled, then you are not getting an incessant feedback of the outside world through your eyes, ears, nose, etc. And thus you will be able to get rid of your calm, this lust or desire or want. Sometime back, this is probably 97 or 98, I'm not sure. I was given a few higher kriyas, and I calculated the duration that each of it would take, and I came out with a figure of 3 hours that I would have to do kriya. And I thought it was asking a little too much from me. So I appealed to my Gurudev. I said, Baba, this is almost 3 hours every day. Please think again, reassess, and tell me exactly how much is absolutely essential. So he smiled at me and he said, 24 hours. This is exactly what Sanyal Mahasaya says, the same thing here. How do you do Kriya 24 hours? As I said once before, Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. These are the 3 ways you get involved into Kriya Yoga. So, 24 hours doing it with your body is not possible. You cannot sit on the asana for an unbelievably long period. Maybe occasionally, once in a 6 months, once in a year, maybe yes. But on a daily basis, this is not possible. So what do? Man and Vani. Vani is speech. Manasa, Vacha. Get involved and do it. How is that? The shlok that is being used here is Japata Shantam Punaradhyayet. Dhyayata Shantam Punarjapet. When you are tired of chanting the Guru Mantra, then you start silent meditation. And when you get tired of meditation, revert back to chanting. This is how you can achieve it on a 24-hour basis. And then he says, even if we acquire the entire gold on the earth, all the animals, cows, etc., and some very beautiful ladies too, Ramani, our life will be still a complete waste. See, that depends on your point of view. If you are in the material and enjoyment mode, then you might say, oh my God, look at me. I've got this much wealth, I've got this much this, I've got this much this. But at the end of your chapter of your life, when you are going, none of this will be going with you. So the point of view of the saints, of the gurus, is that this is an unnecessary thing. Even if you have got so much wealth, you will eat only 2 rotis. You will eat only so much vegetables. That's it. Because you have got so much wealth, you can't eat out the full quota of the restaurant which produces your food. Similarly, you will need only a pant and a shirt on everyday basis. So if you have got maybe 10,000 clothes hanging on your hangers, what is the use? I remember there was a news in some of the papers, Imelda Marcos, Ferdinand Marcos, Philippines. She had, I am told, some 10,000 shoes in her wardrobe. And for what? So you have to decide what is it that you want. If you enjoy the material world, if you enjoy this titillation of your senses, then what is happening? You are busy with that. No hopes of salvation. You can't even understand what he is doing from there, how he is related to you, which part of your body he stays in, and what he does in that particular part of your body. Here, here, here. You don't know. And you don't care really. Because you are having a wonderful life. Excuse me. But a time will come when you will realize that you wasted your time. I did. I didn't want to go towards the Guru at all for 18 years. 18 years I avoided them. Now I am regretting. But regret it or not, time is gone, is gone. You have enjoyed material wealth over the years. You have enjoyed very good times materially over the years. Are you satiated? Are you complete? Are you happy? Can you put them aside now? No. Because you are in the habit of wanting more and more and more and more. If you want to get rid of this habit, if you want to come out of the water onto solid land, take the shelter of your Guru Charan, the lotus feet of your Guru. He will definitely make you cross the Bhav Sagar. There is a very beautiful Dwadas Akshar mantra written by Shukdev Ji Maharaj, the son of Vyasdev Ji Maharaj. I wanted to read it to you. Just give me a minute, I'll look for that book. I think I have it here. No, I'm sorry. It has been taken away by somebody or misplaced by me. Okay, the essence is, the Dwadas Akshar mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now, as you all know, Vasudev is the name or the of Lord Krishna, one of the names of Lord Krishna, and it means He who pervades the entire creation. So the mantra is Pranab Namah Bhagavate, God, Vasudevaya. It has got so many spiritual meanings which I'll not be able to explain to you. And the actual verses in the Dwadas Akshar mantra is, Shukdev writes, Shukdev is the son, as I told you, of Vyas the Maharaj, and he writes, Papa panke nimagnosmi trahimam madhusudanam. I am half stuck in the mud of my sins in this world. You are my only Savior. Please help me. I cry out to you, I pray to you. Then he says, I don't remember the full words, but he says, having been repeatedly reborn either in animal form or bird form or human form and constant movement in the life and death cycle, I am now tired. Please protect me from this. I have every time I have told you, I promise to you, I will be good henceforth. But that promise remains unfulfilled. I have never acted on that promise of being good. I have never tried to be close to you. And as a result, I am again stuck. I am again going to get reborn. Please help me. Please protect me. There are many. I will definitely look for it and keep it with me tomorrow. Okay. So, Sanyal Maharshi is now calling out to the Kriyavans, people who have got Kriya. He says, O Sadhak, O Kriyavan, start thinking, open your mind, surrender unto him, and do Kriya as your Guru has told you. There is no other method, there is no other route, there is no other shelter. Some new solution will be discovered is a false illusion, it will never be discovered. This is time established, well established. So say Jai Guru and tighten your girdle belt. Start doing sadhan if you want to save yourself from all the misery being repeated again and again and again and again. Enter this cave here called the Brahmari cave. I explained Brahmari to you yesterday. Brahm Shatru, the enemy of Brahm, the enemy of illusion. My Guru Maharaj used to say, if you come out of this cave, then illusion will hold on to you, catch you and trap you. So where is the need? Just stay inside and be happy in the company of the Lord. All your sensory organs will stop, like the bee will run away in a place where there is where there is no flowers with honey. All your material objects are honey laden flowers. So you have to remove them and surrender into the Kalipad Neel Kamal. Kalipad? Kali is the Shakti of Kal. Kal is time. Kalipad is Kalicharan. Where are the Kalicharans? Where does she put her steps? One is on the heart of Shiv, Mahakal. The next one is on the abdomen of Shiv. And she is showing the long tongue lolling out. That is Kalipad. And the flower that is offered to her is the Neel Kamal. And then you will forget everything else and move on relentlessly in the direction that you needed to go for so long. Indriyani paranyahu rindriyebhya paramana manashastu parabuddhir yo buddhe paratastu sar. The sensory organs are more powerful than your body because they guide the body. They force it to move in whichever directions they want to. The man is better than the Indriyas, because the man controls the Indriyas and vice versa. Buddhi, brain, is powerful, more powerful than the man, because the man goes into 20 different directions. Buddhi will stay in one. It will concentrate on one objective at a time. So it is better. But the best out of this entire structure is your soul. How? Let us see. If you are able to turn your brain towards Him and focus there, concentrate there, then automatically your man will follow the buddhi and your indriyas, sensory organs will follow the man, thereby the entire structure will follow your lead. Then all these attractions, outside attractions, will not matter to you because you are concentrating on the one thing, your soul, that matters. He whose chariot is being driven by Vivek Buddhi. Vivek Buddhi is the Buddhi going in the right direction. And the ropes controlling the horses called Indriyas are being held by this Vivek Buddhi. They are what? 5 sensory organs which eat Chit, Shabda, Sparsha, Roop, Ras, Gandh. That is their feed for which they keep running from here to there. Such a Sarthi or charioteer, or if you want to be modern, your car, the driver of your car, goes beyond rebirth. Where is beyond? Beyond is Vishnu's Parampad. He reaches this place. There are 2 types of sensory organs in the body. There are those which look out and get outside sound, outside light, outside shape, outside smell, outside taste, etc. You eat a lollipop, maybe a chocolate, maybe. You get the sense from outside. You see a good picture or a nice tourist spot, that is from outside. You hear a nice song on the audio or on the TV, that's also from outside. But similarly, if you start practicing and inverting your senses inwards, and Kabir Das ji has said very beautifully how to convert your senses inwards. He says, जोगी हुआ और झक लगी और मिट गई खींचातान, उलट समाना आप में तो हो गया ब्रह्म समान. Yogi हुआ, you have determined that you want to be a yogi, you want to practice Kriya Yoga, you want to go where this place is, you want to go where Krishna's lotus feet are. You have already determined that. Once you have done that determination, then that Rasakasi, Runadi told me last time, the name I keep forgetting. Rope tussle. What is that called, Runadi?
Tug of war.
Tug of war, yeah. So that tug of war stops. What is the tug of war? On one direction is your sansar, your family, your body, your material enjoyment, your wealth, your car, your house, everything. On the other is God. So you keep, the conflict going, and once you want to go in this direction towards your world, and in the other time you want to go to the Lord Himself. And this struggle will stop. Once you have determined, no, I have decided I am going towards my Maker, my Lord, my all in all, my Guru. Ulat samana aap mein, you invert your eyes to look inside. Lahiri Mahasay's photo, if you will see, as I have told you many times, Bahir Drishti Antar Laksh. It seems that he is looking outside, but his eyes are focused here. Have a look at Lahiri Mahasay's photo, you will know what I am talking about. So that is what you have to do. Then you have to invert your tongue. It goes up into the nasal cavity. You invert your auditory, the nose, which will not accept outside smells because you are not breathing. You are not doing it. Olfactory, yes, absolutely. I stumble with the English sometimes. Okay, then you stop hearing outside and your body generates sounds from the Anahat Chakra, which you can hear in your ear. These are the 10 kinds of Nad. Nad is sound. Sonary sound means it resonates. And that comes only with lot of Kriya Yoga practice. It doesn't come automatically. It doesn't come like a boon from somebody. Somebody says, Ja, be a Kriyavan from today. Doesn't happen. You have to work at it. So the first objective is from enjoying the outside, start enjoying the inside. Once you start hearing the different sounds, then you will mellow down. Your urge to look outside, feel outside, go outside will go. It will vanish slowly. And then you will come here. What is here? Give me a minute, I'll read and translate to you. He's talking about the Kutastha. And it's a beautiful place running all the way from here to here, and it is connected to this place also, the Sahasrar. Sahasrar is where the formless ones exists in your body. When he is in form, when you can see his form, he is called Uttam Purush. That is God Himself in full glory. You can see that. So once you go inside, there is a huge amount of light, then there is a circle of light, and then there is a black cave. This black cave, as you enter, starts getting a dim, very soft, very soothing light. It's bluish in nature, which is why Krishna is sometimes shown as sky blue, like this color here, this color. Okay, he is also shown as black, because initial color is black, and then as you move in and stay inside, then he slowly becomes very light sky blue. And then you move on and you go deeper and you reach what is known as Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is where Brahma is, where the Kutastha is. That is where all the entire creation in the world, not in the world, in the Brahmand, in the universe, comes out of from. And then you move on beyond and you reach Uttam Purush. It's the last form that you will ever see. After that, Mahaakash, Mahakali. Power, just like a very huge space, no form. And here, have we time? Yes, we have 5-7 minutes. The last shlok in Karma Yoga, chapter 3, is 43. It says, Evam buddhe param buddhva sansasta bhayatman matmana जहि शत्रुम महाबाहो काम रूपम दुरासदम इति श्रीमद् भागवत गीता सुपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योग शास्त्रे कृष्णार्जुन संवादे कर्म योगो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः। And this, when you reach the beyond Uttam Purush, that is Paravastha. The man does not exist there. Your man, you don't know when you have lost it, where it has gone. It is merged into your soul. Gone. Let me again describe, because Lahiri Mahasaya, Sanyal Mahasaya has again described the construction of this kutastha. So let me read that. When the man is focused only on one objective, that is to reach the feet of the lotus feet of the Lord, then it becomes buddhi. That is why in some of the shlokas, including the definition of satrajit, we use chit, buddhi and man as one item. Then the man turns into Shrestha buddhi, excellent brain, Medha Rishi in Chandi, and enters Hiranyagarbha, Kutastha. Hiranya is lighted, glowing. With so much light, it will be intolerable to you. You cannot tolerate that unless you are in practice. Oh, for Ganesh also they say, na, Surya Koti Samaprabha. As much light as 1,000 suns can possibly emit. So here is the description. There is a Jyotirmay Mandal. This Mandal is the first slok that we sang today. Akhanda Mandala Karam Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. Akhand, unbroken, Mandal, light. Ring. It's also called the Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna. This is the first thing that you see after a great amount of light, lot of prakash. And once you enter that, then there is this black cave. So you can see Krishna in his black finery. It's a beautiful description that he has given, but I can't find matching words in English. That's my problem here. I will read the words in Hindi which is written and then try to translate that to English. After the black cave, there is Lay Vikshep Rahi Anchanchal Samya Bhav, Amavasya की रात में महाकाश के समान. Let me try to translate that. Achanchal, completely still, no movement anywhere. Samya bhav, balanced, not threatening, not joyous. Samya bhav, balanced. Amavasya, the dark moonless night. Mahakash, moonless night with the great Akash, the sky, dark sky. Anant Roop, no end to shape, size, color, etc. And Vaichitra Mool Karan Rupa Mahaprakriti Bhagavati. Vaichitra, strange. Mool Karan, that is where the entire creation starts. That is the Mool Karan. Mool means root. Karan means cause. Root cause of creation. Beyond that, Karya Karan ka lay sthan. Where there is no cause, there is no effect. There is no creation, there is no creator. Swayam Anadi, endless, timeless. Chir sthir chidanandamay avastha. Chir sthir, absolutely still. Chidanand, chid anandamay avastha. Stage of joy in your heart. Samadhi bodhgamya purush. This is Uttam Purush. उसके परे और कुछ नहीं है. There is nothing beyond him. यही जीव की परम गति है. This is the ultimate place that you want to reach. It's beautiful, but unfortunately language is a barrier. The soul is deeply and secretly residing inside your body, here. Obviously, everybody cannot perceive it, everybody cannot see it, feel it, experience it. But those who practice Kriya Yoga regularly as per directions of the Guru develop the fine drishti. Drishti is vision. And only they, with their concentrated buddhi, wisdom, brain, see this Atma Sarup, see this soul. Sri is in inverted comma, C is in inverted comma because soul has no shape, no size, no color, no smell, nothing. It is formless also. So you don't see it, you experience it basically. The sensory organs and your body or your man or buddhi, which is moving around in the world, cannot conceive of this superlative existence inside your own kutastha. Only those who have achieved the stage of samadhi, they can be aware of the existence and the Sarup. Sarup is form. There is no form basically, but whatever it is of the soul. This stage of your Kriya is where you are alive, but you are almost dead. In the sense that your body is non-functional. There is no signal receiving your brain from your body. I am hungry or I am uncomfortable. Those signals are not there. You are not aware of your body because the network is down. Network has been disconnected. And he says, this is called Kriya ki Paravastha, Samadhi. Then everything becomes Brahma. All disturbances stop. There is no desire in you because there is no need for any desire. And therefore you reach the stage of Akhay Sukh, endless, undepleting joy. I had often wondered why Paramhans, Ramakrishna was called Paramhans. And some people accord themselves, just like Jawaharlal Nehru said, I want Bharat Ratna. So he awarded himself Bharat Ratna. So some people, like today I want to call myself Saint so and so. I can. Who is going to challenge me? But what is Paramhans? Let us see. प्राणानवती यस्मात् प्रणव परिकीर्तिता. प्राणों को इसी शरीर की क्रिया के द्वारा स्थिर करते हैं, इसलिए उसको प्रणव कहते हैं. प्रणव इज स्टिल प्राण. It has got three sections, a, u, ma. हंस ही महाप्राण है या महाशून्य है। वो कहाँ है नित्यकृत? तुम ली थी ना, निकाल के दो मेरे को प्लीज।
इंग्लिश में नहीं हो रहा।
महाप्राण या महाशून्य इज हंस। यही सवित्री मंडल मध्यवर्ती नारायण है। ही इज Savitri is the Chetan Surya. One Surya is a Jad Surya, which you see every morning. And Chetan Surya is the Kutastha. It glows like the sun we just discussed. There's so much light, it is like 1,000 suns, etc. Thank you. यही नारायण है, यही हंस है. What is this hans? Here he says it is sthir vayu. If the vayu is stopped here, it does not, there is no inhalation, exhalation. Whatever is happening through the sushumna. You are breathing and getting the oxygen through the sushumna. The external vayu is stopped. That is sthir vayu. That is hans. Let us stop here, and I have just got that book that I was looking for. It has been taken away by my wife, and she's just given it to me. That Dwadas Akshar Mantra Lok. It's a very powerful creation. One moment, let me see if I can find it. That is the problem. Here it is, page 146. There we go. I will read it now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This was explained to me by my Guru one-to-one. There was nobody else. He just went into the room where he kept his Shiv, and he brought out this book. And he came and said, sit down, I want to explain this to you. Just understand, please. Om iti jnana matrena raga jirnena nirjita kala nidram prapannosmi trahimam madhusudana. Pranab is knowledge. Rag, attraction, does not allow you to understand this. It does not allow me to understand this. Kala nidram prapanno asmi. I am sleeping in the deep sleep of time. Trahima Madhusudana. Save me, O Lord. Hey Madhusudan, save me. Na gatir vidde natha. I am not able to progress towards you. Tvameva sharanam prabhu. I want to come to your shelter. Papa panke nimagno asmi. I am submerged in the muck of the sansar, of the material world. Trahimam Madhusudana. O Lord, help me. Mohito moh jalena putra daradi bhirdhanai. I am enticed by the mohjal, the web of attraction, by my son, my wife, and my dhan, my wealth. Trishnaya pidaya manosmi. Trahima Madhusudana. The thirst for more of these is giving me terrible misery. Help me, Madhusudan. Bhaktihinam cha dinam cha dukha shokaturam prabhu. I don't have any bhakti. I am a beggar as far as bhakti is concerned. Dukh shokatur. I am tormented by dukh and shok. Shok is, I don't know. Shok should be sense of loss. Anashrayam natham. I have no shelter. He Nath, O my Lord. Trahimam Madhusudana. Gata gatena shanto asmi. By this constant going out, coming back, dying, taking birth, dying, taking birth, by this constant movement, gata gatena shanto asmi, I am now tired. Dirgha sansar vartamasu. I have stayed too long in this world. Yena bhuyo na gacchami trahimam madhusudana. I don't want to come again. Help me, my Lord. Protect me. Bahavo hi maya drashta yoni dwara prathak prathak. I have been born out of so many wombs. Animal, bird, man. Garbhavaso mahad dukkham. The stay in the womb is a great torture. Help me, my Lord. Tena deva prapanno asmi chintayami puna puna jagat sansar mokshaya traimam madhusudana. Even the devatas surrender to you. They think of you to protect themselves from jagat sansar moksha, to get salvation. So help me too, my Lord. Vacha yatta pratigyatam karmanam na kriyam maya. I always speak and say and promise that I will do this, so that I don't have to come back to this world. And yet, karmana na kriyam kritam maya, I have not done the work. That deed has not been done. I have promised, but I have not done it. So aham karma durachara strahimam madhusudana. That is why my work is all durachara, dur achar, bad activity. Trahimam madhusudana. Dehantar sahasranya manyonya brahmitam maya. I have changed bodies thousands of times, and still I am confused. Yena bhuyo na gacchami trahimam madhusudan. Not again, my Lord. Please help me. Rescue me. Jara marana bhito asmi. I am scared of old age and I am scared of death. Trahimam madhusudana. Please help me, my Lord. Yatra yatraiva jato asmi. From henceforth, wherever I go, strishu va purusheshu cha, as a lady or a man, tatra achala bhakti. With your blessings, I should get a complete bhakti, devotion for you. Trahimam madhusudana. Iti Shri Shukdev Rachita Shri Vishnu Dwadar Aksha Stotram. That's it. This is used for some Kriya in the next stage. And it is not commonly available to most of the Kriya yogis. But it is such a beautiful creation. I thought I'll share it with you. And I think we'll have to call it a day. The time is over. It's much beyond the expected time. So if somebody has any questions, they are welcome. Otherwise, we say goodbye.
No questions. Thank you so much for sharing this. It was beautiful. It is like the soul cry for all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
Save us from this circle of life and death. And please share it in the group also. We'd like to read it more and,
Okay,
bring that consciousness to us also.
I'll do that.
It just gave me shivers. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Jai
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru.